Sean G here. Welcome to the podcast with Soul. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, you could give it a thumbs down. I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. Integrity never went out of style. You can follow me on all my platforms, the podcast with Soul. Want to send this video and address this video to Attorney General Pamela Bondi and also to the Oval Office, and also to Jay Clayton, United States Attorney at the Southern District of New York. No disrespect to nobody. I attended the Puffy trial in court every day, but maybe 5 days I might have missed. I was in the overflow courtroom on the 24th floor, 24B. I was there every day, boots on the ground. I heard the testimony. And Miss Bondi, Attorney General Bondi, I just want to let you know that several witnesses, government witnesses, Puffy did not call not one witness to the stand. All of the witnesses that testified under oath on the stand in court in the Southern District of New York during the Puffy trial were government witnesses. And several of those witnesses, Ms. Bondi, committed perjury on the stand. They lied on the stand, and they need to be held accountable. In the United States of America, I'm an American citizen. We have laws that you cannot commit perjury under oath. You cannot get on the stand and tell a lie and perjure yourself. Perjury is punishable by a fine or even imprisonment. And one very blatant who was cold busted in her perjury, thanks to Nicole Westmoreland, was Bryana Bongolan. Ms. Bondi, and to the White House, Bryana Bongolan got on the stand in the Southern District of New York during the Puffy trial and said that Puffy held her over a balcony, right? And also, Attorney General Bondi, Cassie Ventura also corroborated this alleged event, which we know didn't happen, in her civil suit. I think it's paragraph 1. I think it's on page, what page is that on? Page 19, paragraph 120, or paragraph 109. It's either paragraph 109 in Cassie's civil suit or paragraph 120, where Cassie and Bryana Bongolan alleged that Puffy held Bryana Bongolan off a 17th floor balcony in Los Angeles. In Cassie's civil suit, it said that this happened in a hotel suite. However, Bryana Bongolan got on the stand in the Southern District of New York and said it happened at Cassie's apartment. So both of them lied about this event, that it never took place. And on the morning that Bryana Bongolan took the stand during Puffy's criminal trial, Bryana and Cassie were texting that morning about her testimony. So what the perjury was, Attorney General Pam Bondi, was that Bryana alleged that Puffy held her off of a 17th floor balcony on September the 26th, 2016. The Assistant U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York introduced evidence, pictures, with the what do you call that thing? The timestamp, metadata, with the metadata on the picture of September the 26th, 2016, showing that she had an injury to her leg, which had a puncture in the middle, and that she had an injury to her neck and to her back. And she submitted photos to support as evidence of this incident that she was held off of a 17th floor balcony in Los Angeles at Cassie's apartment. That Puffy held her over the balcony, took her back, and then threw her into the balcony furniture where she sustained all of these injuries. And then Bryana testified that Cassie was there in the apartment, and that after Puffy had threw her into the balcony furniture, Cassie came, one of the stories she said, Cassie came to the patio door and asked Puffy, "Did you just throw her into the balcony furniture?" One time she said, one of the stories, Bryana said that she was smoking a cigarette on the balcony. Another one said that she was smoking weed on the balcony. Another one, she said she was just looking out at the view. All of these different stories about this one incident. She goes to a chiropractor. She does not call 911. She does not file a police report, right? Somebody just held her over a balcony, threatened her life, right? But she don't call the police, files no police report, doesn't call 911, doesn't go to the emergency room for her injuries. She goes to a chiropractor, Miss Bondi, and buys a neck brace. It later came out in the testimony, Miss Bondi, that she later on, a few days later, went to a concert. Puffy invited her and Cassie to a concert, and she had backstage access thanks to Puff, and that she took a selfie at the concert, took the neck brace off, took a selfie at the concert, and then posted it to her social media, and then put the neck brace back on. But long story short, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Miss Bondi, and to the Oval Office, this incident never happened, because on September 26, 2016, when this alleged incident was supposed to have happened in Los Angeles at Cassie's apartment, per Bryana Bongolan and per Cassie, at a hotel suite. So they both give two conflicting stories. Both of them are perjury. This perjury is in Cassie's civil suit. Her civil suit needs to be looked at, and maybe some type of clawback of the damages needs to be worked out with her, because all of that was false. And whatever attorneys that she used to file those outright lies needs to be reported to the Bar Association for not doing his due diligence and corroborating that these stories were actually true. But what actually happened, Ms. Bondi, is that Puffy and Cassie were in New York City on September 26, 2016, and not in Los Angeles at Cassie's apartment, as Bryana alleged about the 17th floor balcony incident, and not at no hotel suite that Cassie alleged. Cassie and Puffy were in Manhattan. Puffy was doing a signing at the Macy's on 34th Street, I think, and he was up in Harlem at a benefit for the kids, the Boys and Girls Harbor, and he was ordering room service because he was staying at the Trump International Hotel in Manhattan, ordering room service that day at various points throughout the day, breakfast all the way to lunch. And he was definitely on the East Coast because on September 25th, 2016, he was at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, doing his Bad Boy reunion tour. He was on stage with Little Kim, and Cassie was there. So he checked into the Trump International Hotel on September 24th, 2016. He did not check out until September 29th, 2016. Cassie then later sends an email. The Southern District of New York came up with some text message she sent on September the 30th, she says, "Guess what I heard happened? I heard something happen." Well, why would she imply in this text message on September the 30th that somebody told her something, that she heard something, whereas in both her civil complaint and in Bryana's testimony on the stand, she was there at the 17th floor balcony incident. So Attorney General Pam Bondi, the White House, and U.S. Attorney Jay Clayton, Southern District of New York, perjury charges need to be brought against Bryana Bongolan for perjuring herself on the stand in a federal trial for taxpayer and with the use of taxpayer dollars. Okay, Cassie needs to be investigated for her perjury in her civil suit. Also, lies on the stand were told by a girl named Dawn Richard. Jane Doe perjured herself. Capricorn Clark perjured herself on the stand, Miss Bondi. Kid Cudi perjured himself on the stand, Miss Bondi. There was perjury and lies all over that case in Puffy's criminal trial, that he beat the RICO. And the Southern District of New York knew that Bryana's story was false before she even got on the stand. Alexandra Shapiro mentioned that in court when she brought and she requested a mistrial to Judge Submaranian, which he denied. Alexandra Shapiro stood up in the court and said that we gave the prosecution, we gave the Southern District of New York Puffy's itinerary of where he was during this alleged incident, and that they totally disregarded it, they didn't care, and they still put Bryana Bongolan on the stand and allowed her to tell that lie and perjured herself on the stand. And myself, Miss Bondi, Attorney General Bondi, as a citizen of the United States, I also broke the law and went to federal prison because I broke the law. And I knew I was breaking the law when I was breaking it, and I was punished for me breaking the law. Puffy was acquitted of the RICO. He was acquitted of the SEX trafficking, but he was found guilty of the SEX selling of the body with Jane Doe and Cassie. So the law was applied to Puff. He was convicted, and he is currently serving a sentence in MDC Brooklyn. He broke the law was applied to him, he accepts it. I broke the law was applied to me, I went to prison, I accept it, I was wrong. There are many, many convicted felons in the United States, even people convicted of misdemeanors, that know they broke the law, accepted it, and went with it. And that being said, Miss Bondi, Attorney General Bondi, into the Oval Office, this girl, Bryana Bongolan, broke the law in court, perjured herself. And the law needs to be applied to her. She needs to be held accountable, and she needs to be brought up on perjury charges. Sean G, Podcast with Soul. Peace.